What's up? Welcome to my room. I am now a YouTuber. I will be doing videos like this. Today is probably going to be somewhat of a video out of left field. I thought it would be fun if I clean my room on camera. I think I have some interesting things in here. I just have stuff. I have books. I have toys. I have posters. I have art supply. I have a lava lamp. So much stuff. I don't know where to put any of it. I need to organize it, and I want to take you guys along with me for that because I think it'll be interesting. Probably not. Also, I want to turn this area here into like an impromptu YouTube studio sit down talking area for future videos. And you might have also noticed that I am bald, and we'll get into that a little bit more throughout this video, but essentially the theme of this video is going to be something like, what if the external reflected the internal? Wow, he reads books. Wow, look at all the books he has. He's so smart. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna clean this mess, my life. We're gonna get it in order, and you're gonna come with me. It's gonna be fun. Trust me, it's gonna be fun. And what's the first step, you might ask, if you're watching still? What we need to do is organize all the pieces first. So let's do that. Star Wars toys, dollar store Yu-Gi-Oh toys, Gundams, Kinder Surprise toys, and just random trinkets that my friends have gotten me or I've collected from random trips over the years. So what is the plan, you might ask? Please do not mind this garbage, I will clean it. The plan is, I'm gonna take these cool new shelves and put them over there. I'm gonna hang up the shelf here, and while I do that, I thought I would tell you the story of why I'm bald. So in recent years, I've had many jobs, and many terrible jobs. And I didn't realize they were terrible at the time though. Honestly, I thought that they were my dream jobs. Like I worked really hard to get them. I went to school, studied the material, worked really hard to get applications right and get them in. And then when I had them, I thought I was set. Like I thought everything was gonna be really good for me afterwards. What ended up happening was many of these jobs I would get, the bosses would eventually bring me into their office and say something to the effect of like, we really don't feel like you want to be here, or you just seem checked out. And then the worst one was they would always say something along the lines of, we just don't feel like you're fitting in here. You know, it's really one thing to hear, you know, you're really bad at your job. You need to step it up a little bit and do better. But it's another thing for them to say something like, we don't like your personality. That's actually really hurtful. And it was kind of like a wake-up call for me that is not perfect, but you will never know on camera. And it was kind of a wake-up call for a few reasons. One, I have had other jobs in the past where employers have said things like that, but a part of me was kind of like holding out for these, you know, really good jobs, and I thought eventually that, you know, if I could just get these good jobs, everything would change, everything would be different. But no, they were not different. Actually, they were more of the same. And when I say more of the same, I mean work is just work. Like jobs are jobs, no matter where you go or who you're working for. You always have to clock in, you always have to spend time, you always have to sacrifice your time to you know, make ends meet. Work is just work. You're not gonna enjoy it every day. And it's kind of a miracle if you can find a job that you actually like and are good at and also fit in with the workplace culture. Okay, what do? I gotta lock in here for a second and get these screws in. So long story short, I was fired from those jobs because I didn't really fit in very well. It made me realize on the bus ride home from being fired from my dream job, you know, I'm just gonna do this. Like this. I don't wanna have some random person who I've never met in my entire life have, you know, the say in whether or not I can feed myself. That is ridiculous. You know, I have the skills, I can make videos, I can draw, and so on the way home from that, I sort of made the decision, you know, I'm just gonna do this. Screw it. Screw it. I didn't even mean to do that. That's kind of cringe, but to be cringe is to be free, as they say. And you might be wondering, well, how does shaving your head fit into this? Well, shaving my head was a nice way to mark this change. I thought that, you know, new look, new me kind of thing. And then this video, updating my room and cleaning my stuff, is kind of a part of that too, where, you know, if I want to make this work, I have to make this look nice. I have to make my outside, come on. I have to make my outside feel like my inside. This is not gonna fit. What the hell am I doing? Okay, well, there's gonna be holes where I took the screws out, but you know, the scars remind us that the past is real. What was I saying? And so I thought it would be a cool idea to shave my head and make my room look really nice in a way to mark this brand new change in my life. That's nice. I'm just now realizing that I have this other shelf that I wanted to put up. My original idea was like, okay, the two shelves like this here and the other one on top, but that's too high for my liking, and I also have this whole thing. I decided, I was like, let me just put this up and I'll have kind of like a little staircase shelf, and that looks kind of cool. So we're gonna try that out. But first we're gonna have to take this down. Now, I'm not sure if you can tell. I've never really put up shelves before. And I don't really care about any comments that say, you should have done it like this. Because at the end of the day, the shelf is gonna go up. I personally don't care if it's, you know, hung up by gum and duct tape. I just care that it's up and I can use it. So it looks something like this. And the wall is not flat. So there's a bit of a gap, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, well, I was wrong. I'm gonna go get the level. Got it. Okay, how am I gonna do this all alone? That is the real question. Let's make some marks first. I'm gonna take this and we'll mark off where it's level. Just a couple marks. Don't need to be crazy. I think let's just screw this in and see what happens. The last ones actually worked out pretty good, so let's just get this guy in there. I need to know where the screws go though, so I need to know how far away they will be. And then slowly bring this down at the angle. Okay, well, let's just say that's the center. Now, I wish I had like another fun story to tell while I'm doing this one, but honestly, this is pretty frustrating and hard to think through. I actually don't know if this is gonna work. I'm taking a bit of a risk here. And that looks about right. Who needs a stud finder? Every single thing I've ever hung up or, you know, screwed into the wall, I've never used a stud finder. Now, I understand that they are an important tool and it could be helpful, but that's honestly doing too much. I've never had a bad experience just haphazardly screwing things straight into the drywall. And on that note, is this going to work? Oh! Okay, this does not feel stable. Oh, I see what I did wrong. This needs to be supported this way as well. I only screwed the bottom part. I also need to screw the top so that it's not wobbling, because the weight of the shelf was pulling it out of the wall. Oh yeah, that's much better. All right, let's try this again. Oh yeah. That's a sturdy shelf. I will be able to put so many Gundams on this. Not the best. It is a little wobbly, but it'll do for now. Okay, so update. This is what we are working with now. That's working out pretty good. But one problem is this small shelf now is a little bit too close. So there is like a part of me every time I film something, and it creeps in slowly, but it always ends up coming. And it's the part that's like, what you're filming is not worth filming. This sucks. No one really wants to see this. That part is now happening. That is, I'm feeling that right now. And I don't know where it comes from, but it's there. And with my newfound, you know, feeling of just saying screw it, I don't care. Like, I don't really care if people don't want to watch or if like nobody likes this, because I'm just doing this for fun. I want to see if I could make something out of this. Come on, get out of there. So we're just gonna keep rolling. And I think the feeling creeps up when I'm filming because I inevitably make a huge mess while I film, and that really messes with my brain because I don't really like messes. So when I'm like shooting something and being creative, and then also my environment is kind of against me, that feeling starts to kind of, you know, creep in. But we're just gonna go through it. We're just gonna feel it out, man. We are just gonna move this shelf easily. I'm not gonna struggle with this screw at all. And we're just gonna make it work. Hopefully I can get this out without any problems. There we go. See, if you just keep moving, things work out, you know? Oh yeah, that'll be good. And I hope your comments say something like, Zach, why don't you use a drill? It'd be so much easier. I have this thing in my brain where it's like, but the drill is all the way downstairs and the screwdriver is right here. Clearly the effort of going downstairs and getting the drill is much more effort than screwing it by hand. And the funny thing is, I know that's not true, but I'm still too lazy to go downstairs. I have the screwdriver right here. Plus, I may or may not be stalling this process so I can talk to the camera. You'll never know. There we go. All good. Most of these things on this shelf, actually I think all the things on this shelf, were either collected by me in places I've visited, like places I've traveled to, or they were gifts from friends from their travels. It's kind of like my little pirate's booty shelf. They're all things that I've gathered from the four corners of the globe. This is a Triceratops that I got in Drumheller at the Dinosaur Museum. And then next to it is a King Kong that my girlfriend Juna bought for me at the Empire State Building in New York. And then there's the footed bull, which you could see in my other New York vlog video, little plug. Then there's this statue from Rome that my auntie bought for me. And then this golden dragon from Singapore, my friend Connor got for me. And Connor also got me this samurai, the little samurai guy. And this weird little rubber hand I got in Banff at a gift shop. I just thought it was funny. Oh, and this shot glass, I got it in Barcelona when I went to Spain a few years ago. I also forgot to mention that the little green frog there was also a gift from Juno. Okay, quick room update. I don't know how I feel about it. I got the whiteboard up, and all the shelves are up now. All the things are on this shelf. I don't know how I feel. I think maybe I need to put things on the shelves. Need to transfer some of the things from this shelf to the next one, and then we'll see how I feel after that. Okay, so now here is the fun part where I'm going to decide. I think for sure these need to be up here. They really feel out of place next to all the Star Wars stuff. These are from Yu-Gi-Oh! Got these at a dollar store. And then I have a shelf for all the Gundams at the bottom, but I ran out of room and I had to start putting them up top. So I think we're gonna move some of the nicer Gundams to the other shelf. Okay, remember when I was saying I just have so much stuff and I'm drowning in it? This is the stuff I was talking about. Up here on this shelf, I just have like toys, like so many toys, and I have no shelf space for them. So hopefully I can, you know, fit them all over here. So let's just do a quick review of this shelf now that everything's up. These are just some Gundams that I've collected. These are the more expensive ones. Actually, funny thing about this one, it is by far the most expensive Gundam that I own. I don't know, it was probably like $200 more than the next most expensive Gundam, but the funny thing is it can barely stand on its own. And I don't know if it's my fault for how I built it or if it's just built like that, but that's great. Money well spent, thanks. This Jimmy Butler action figure, I really like it. It's the only memorabilia that I have from our trip to Miami a few years ago. And what's funny is he doesn't even play for that team anymore. Some pictures of my family, and then these are my Star Wars action figures. I really enjoy collecting, you know, like the glup shittos. So like characters that nobody really knows. This is Jackson, and he's only ever been in the comics, and I kind of like being the guy when people come over being like, what is that? And I'm like, that's Jackson. You don't know Jackson? Come on, man. And then over here, more random plastic garbage from over the years. So yeah, cleared a lot of space off, and I think it's looking pretty good now. Okay, kind of funny thing that just happened. I thought I was done, and I was actually just about to set up to film the next part. And then I looked down, and I forgot that there was an entire bag that's filled with other toys. So we're gonna have to talk about some of them. This is a little Princess Mononoke diorama that me and Juno built last time I saw her. It's my favorite movie. Down there is like a news helicopter as a gift from my dad for Christmas. Then we got Jon Stewart Green Lantern. And here we have some of my Star Trek The Next Generation figures. I don't really like collecting main characters from things that much. I like the side characters usually. I mean, of course I got Jon Stewart here, but I think that's kind of an exception. And I just love this like vintage action figure look of these ones. Then I had this Thor action figure that I've had since I was a kid. Here's a really funny one. This one you can buy at the local museum here. It's Albert Einstein. I got that when I was a kid too. Here's a Peach Ride vinyl. I love Peach Ride. I've been following them for quite a while. And behind her, I have the Batman Beyond McFarlane. And the final touch is my mask collection. I haven't touched on it much in this video, and I probably won't touch on it much on other videos, but basically I don't really know much about them. So that's why I won't be talking about them. I just think they look cool. And so with that, here's the final product. Got all my new toys up at the top, all my masks and everything, all my cool, like all my trendy Polaroid pictures of my friends and family. And yeah, this was fun, even though I made a huge mess and almost quit halfway through because I was stressed out. You know, it feels a lot more me in here now, which if I remember correctly, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Whoa, the beginning and the end of the video, they're connected. The themes are the same. Whoa, that's so cool.